While there are so many mobs in Genshin Impact, one stands out as way more irritating than the rest. It's not just one big rock of a problem, it's a bunch of little problems that add up to make it the worst. Today, we're diving into Genshin's most hated enemy and why that is. We're gonna talk about Inazuma's one samurai, the Nobushi. While saying it was hated is a bit of a stretch. Problematic maybe is the best word to describe this group of enemy. The word Nobushi means wild warrior in Japanese, the bandit of medieval Japan. There were 5 Nobushi known in the game: Itsukeban, Jintoban, Kikoban, Peyruis, and Dancing Thunder. Now you might notice how these two are kinda different from these 3, and their names don't really match either. Well, these two are called Kairagi, and you can say that these two are the stronger version of these 3. We'll differentiate them by Nobushi and Kairagi from here, even though they fall under the same name, the Nobushi. All 3 of them looks like a samurai, which is the exact thing it was supposed to represent. They wear a similar outfit yet in a different color: blue, red or brown, and purple. They are wielding a single katana. Itsukeban has a hyotan on his sweep. Jintoban has a black haidate or a thigh armor, and Kikoban has a makimono. 3 of them are wearing different Japanese traditional hats: Ronin Gasa, Atorei Gasa, and Sando Gasa. Kairagi Peyruis and Kairagi Dancing Thunder both wear a full armor with the color representing their elemental power, Pyro and Electro, showcasing their power and superiority over the normal Nobushi. The Nobushi was added to the game back in version 2.0 Inazuma update as a group of 5. At this release, it was very hated by the player for a couple of reasons. One being they are considered too strong for casual player. For comparison, a level 88 Patu Electro Hammer has a hit point of 86k, has 3 movesets including shield. Compare that to this bad boy Peyruis that has 163k hit point at the same level. 7 movesets which include blocking, dodging, and rage plus heal if his comrade died, which increasing interruption and immune to all crowd control. It's like comparing a Titanic to a modern cruise ship. It's on a different level. But even if you compare it to the normal Nobushi, which has 68k HP and the same number of movesets, one of their moves, which called Trust, is harder to predict and avoid, plus the fact that they are hard to control by any animo ability. They can barely be pulled by Venti or Kazuha, let alone lifted. And they has annoying moveset which is jump back, make player lose their mind. Imagine using characters such as Hutao or Child when fighting a group of Nobushi, and when you're ready to burst, they just jump back and avoid your burst altogether. It's really frustrating. Then, because of the backlash from the community, the developer nerfed Nobushi on 2.1 update. They reduced the weight of all the Nobushi so that they can be lifted or at least pulled by animo ability. Not only that, they removed jump back move for Nobushi, but not so for Kairagi. Thrust move animation is slightly longer so player can react to it. Basically, the problem with fighting Nobushi is fixed now. Everybody was happy. That is no more. Fanbase were grateful, right? Of course not. There's still one big problem about them: the loot. Enemies in Genshin Impact are classified based on factors that determine their difficulty, spawn location, and the loot they drop. In this case, Nobushi is classified as a common enemy, same with Hilichurls or Slime. And when it comes to drop rates, they're pretty much in the same basket as other 2. The problem is, while Hilichurl doesn't have a lot of HP, meaning you can kill them quickly and move on to the next group, Nobushi is a lot harder than Hilichurl to deal with. While Hilichurl can be found in a large group and basically everywhere, a group of Nobushi only has 3 persons. Hilichurl is a day 1 enemy, meaning it's not hard to fight nor have a lot of HP. It meant to be a tutorial enemy. Nobushi, in the other hand, released in 2.0 alongside Inazuma. they can be hard to fight if your team is weak. And a weak team is a big problem for the player back then. If you manage to kill a Nobushi, they will drop this item, the handguard. Now, the handguard comes in 3 rarities, 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star. At world level 8, both Nobushi and Kairagi level ranging from 87 to 90. For Nobushi, their drop rates are 81.98% for 1 star handguard, 21.66% for 2 star, and 5.41% for 3 star. For Kairagi, it's 1 plus 62.42% for 1 star handguard, 43.31% for 2 star, and 10.82% for 3 star. On paper, Nobushi have a higher drop rates than Slime or Hilicher, but a lot of Genshin player feels like they are farming for nothing because handguard just never seem to drop. It's pretty frustrating when you spend a bunch of time fighting them, roam around Inazuma, only to get barely anything in return. Players are starting to wonder if the rates are even right or if there's something else going on. At this point, farming handguard has become a bit of a meme in the community, with many hoping for a fix or at least some tweaks to make it less of a grind. In my opinion though, the drop rates are actually correct, but the effort just doesn't match the reward. If you were killing slimes with the same drop rates, it probably wouldn't bother you. However, as I mentioned before, Nobushi have much more hit point and stronger attack patterns, making it more unmotivated to farm. Next point is the use of it. A couple of early release character and weapon in Inazuma use handguard for upgrades. For example, Raiden Shogun, Ayaka, Miss Splitter, and Gulfing and Amenuma. That's just a few. So we gotta farm this every day, cause they only spawn once a day with a limited supply. So you cannot just kill them, relog, and hope they'll wait for you to kill them again. No, you'd ask someone if they had already unlocked Inazuma, and if they do, you gotta ask if they had wiped out the entire Nobushi. Because everybody is hyped up for Ayaka, and Ayaka need the mats, so everybody just hunt down the Nobushi. Might as well change the Vision Hunt Decree to Ronin Hunt Decree on the Archon quest, doesn't matter. At launch, Inazuma has 3 islands, Narukami, Kanazuka, and Yashiori, which is not a lot, but their respective quests is annoying because it was so lengthy, and if you're not finishing it, the farming process becomes harder, which is more time consuming. Nobushi and Kairagi can be found all across Inazuma, with the most of them in Yashiori Island. Chances are, the first time you come across Nobushi is gonna be in Konda village, because the nearest Nobushi from Rito is here, unless you're brave enough to swim to this island. The only quote-unquote fun island to farm is only at Narukami. On Kanazuka, it's actually not that bad to farm in its sub-area, Ujo Encampment, but in Tatarasuna, it isn't really that interesting. Yes, you got a couple Nobushi here and there, but the main area is locked by a barrier. You need to go around the barrier to farm them. And lastly, Yashiori Island, where the Nobushi spawn the most. 4 words to describe it: pain in the ass. It's just not fun. Because of what? Rain and lightning. The lightning is programmed to strike close to the player every couple of seconds, and if you stop moving for a while, it will hit you. It's not a big deal, right? Well, yeah, but the rain is a double-edged sword. You can use it to freeze the enemy, but in the other hand, imagine getting electrocuted while fighting and get staggered so much that the other guy over there can charge his attack and vaporize you to oblivion. Even though the farming experience is the most annoying part about them, their appearance in the Spiral Abyss is not that great either. Nobushi appeared in Spiral Abyss 1.5 weeks after version 2.0 introduced, on 1st of August 2021. Spiral Abyss changed the enemy on floor 9 above, basically all floor outside the corridor. On floor 12, they appear in the first half of Chamber 1. Let's just say, community have a couple opinion about them, Some are okay with them, and some aren't too happy with the sudden jump in difficulty. Upon closer look into Nobushi, it's clear that these enemies add a significant challenge and complexity to the game. Although the frustration and difficulty they present have been reduced over time by character released after, or the new world level 9 increasing their drop rates, they still require a good team on mid and early game. Their appearance on version 2.0 Spiral Abyss is a big obstacle for the player, because Spiral Abyss level them up so they become much tougher to deal with. So whether you like them or hate them just like me, at the end of the day, they're just an enemy you can defeat with a good enough team or an extra time. Comment down below which enemy you like me to discuss next. If you have any suggestion on how I can make this video better, also comment down below. Keep exploring, don't stop adventuring. Until next time.